All right, guys, we are doing um, the area. It's the last section in your packet. Area and perimeter with radicals. So I'm on the notes page here, and you guys know how to find area, right? We're multiplying, so you already know how to multiply radicals. So that's not too bad. Same thing with perimeter. It's adding all those around, right? So um, adding all those sides together. So you already know how to add and subtract radicals now. So that's what we're going to do today. We start off with just a rectangle that has these rational numbers for the sides. So I've got a rectangle that measures 25 by 12. So for area, we're going to do, I'm going to write that out here off to the side for a second. Area equals length times width for a rectangle, right? And then perimeter for a rectangle is add up all the sides, but really, two of the sides are the same. It's 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, okay? And I'm just going to put in what I know. So to find the area, I see this rectangle measures 25 by 12. So my area equals 25 times 12. And I'm going to do the same thing for the perimeter. The perimeter equals 2 times 25 plus 2 times 12. Oops, close my parentheses there. And then just go ahead and multiply those, right? 25 times 12, let's see, 25 times 4 is 100, and then there's 3 of those, so that's 300. Put units squared, since we don't know what the units are there. And then simplify my perimeter one. 2 times 25 is 50. 2 times 12 is 24. So my perimeter is just 74 units. Again, we don't know what our units are, so we're just going to put the word units, right? So that's how we find area and perimeter. Now, let's do that with some irrational numbers. So it says here for number 2, find the area and perimeter of the triangle. Now I'm going to write out the formula for the area of a triangle. We might forget that. It's 1/2 of the base times the height. Or you can think of it as base times the height divided by 2. Okay, I mean either way. For the perimeter, we just have to add up all the sides. So side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3, I'm not going to write that out. Let's just go ahead and put in what we know, right? So for the area, 1/2 of base times height, that would be 1/2 radical 6 times radical 24, right? So those are all multiplication. I'll put a multiplication sign between the 1/2 and the radical 6 just to make it a little more clear, okay? For the perimeter, we're going to go ahead and do radical 6 plus radical 30, I believe that is. It's kind of not showing up so well on this iPad right now. Plus radical 24. So just add up all the sides. And then we just go ahead and do what we know how to do, right? I know when I'm multiplying radicals, I can leave what's in front out in front and then put those two numbers that are inside the radicals together. So 24 times 6, double check with my calculator. Yes, okay. It's 144, right? So I put radical 6 times radical 24 under the same umbrella, under the same radical sign, and that equals 144. And then I can do the square root of that. I'll bring down my 1/2, but I know what the square root of 144 is. It's 12. And then half of 12 is 6. So the area for this triangle is 6 units squared. Now for the perimeter, I've got to add these together, right? So the first thing I need to do is see if I can simplify any of them, right? So I look to see, can I simplify radical 6? The only factors of 6 are 3 and 2, and 6 and 1, and none of those are perfect squares. So I'll move on to radical 30. For radical 30, I've got 3 times 10, I've got 5 times 6, and I've got 15 times 2. And again, none of those are perfect squares, so I can't simplify that one either. Now, 24, some factors of 24 are radical, 6 and 4, and we know 4 is a perfect square. So when I simplify this one, so radical 4 times radical 6, I know the square root of 4, it's 2, right? So this simplifies to 2 radical 6. So now I have radical 6 plus radical 30 plus 2 radical 6. Well, like we learned for adding, if I have 1 radical 6 over here and I have 2 radical 6 over here, that's going to equal 3 radical 6. And that's my answer for the perimeter. Oh, I should put units there. Units. 3 radical 6 plus radical 30 units. That's the perimeter, right? For the next one, oh my goodness, I cannot read that. Hold on, guys. Let me go get a packet. This is the second video I've left on you, right? All right, so for this last one, oh, there we go. I can actually see it. Let's fill this in a little bit better. So we've got x up here. We have radical 3. I would never have guessed that was a 3 right here. And then it says the area. Now I would have guessed this one. It says that the area is radical 15. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and find the missing side first. That's what they want us to find. So remember, area of a rectangle is found by multiplying length times width. So I've got area equals length times width. We'll fill in what you know. We know the area, radical 15. We know the width is radical 3. We just don't know the length. Well, what am I going to do to get that length by itself? Divide both sides by radical 3. Because when I divide both sides by radical 3, now I can find that missing side. It's whatever radical 15 divided by radical 3 is, right? Because the L is by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that division. I've got radical 15 divided by radical 3. Remember, we have to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to do that over here. Radical 15 divided by radical 3. First thing I'm going to do is multiply both the top and the bottom by radical 3. So I've got radical 45 over 3. So radical 3 multiplied by itself is radical 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. Okay, now I can simplify that radical 45. The factors of radical 45 are 9 and 5. So I've got radical 9 times radical 5 equals radical 45. And we know the square root of 9 is 3. So really, this is 3 radical 5 over 3. Well, look what happens here. I've got a 3 on the numerator. I've got a 3 in the denominator. Those cancel. And that length is just radical 5. So I'm going to put that in place of our x up here. X equals radical 5. Okay. So we found the missing side. I'll do the perimeter in red. So let's do this over here, right? The perimeter, again, of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, right? So I know the length and I know the width now. So it's 2 times radical 3 plus 2 times radical 5. Now, unfortunately, those aren't like terms, so I can't combine those, and that's really all I get. You know, I should put units at the end, but that's all. So it's just applying what you guys already know. Okay, you already know how to multiply. You already know how to divide. Like we found the missing side because we already knew how to divide. You know how to add and subtract. It's just doing those things when they're asking for the area and the perimeter of these shapes. Okay. So your assignment's on the next couple of pages. Or is it just one page? No, it's 2 pages. If you have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher.